over here in the upper right. He needs to win this game and the next. He is Departure. Hopefully not too scarred from that previous loss there.
Might be, though.
Down here in the bottom center with that crazy strat teaching us all, he is Ian. Whoa, the audience.
Yeah. 9 pooling here, by the way. Let's see what build order he catches out of Departure. If the Departure goes for like a pool first, then it's going to be at a bit of an advantage.
Interesting that we've seen the Taiwanese players so far go for the Spore opening. Not necessarily that rush we saw back there, but we've seen him at least get a Spore out here to take out an Overlord.
Yeah, and you know, it did well with that strategy that he did. So.
Artosis.
This is a 9 pool
this
against
is
the
a
hatch
9
first.
Pool.
This could pay off hugely for Ian. This is pretty exciting, man.
Yeah.
You know, Ian's
let's see
doing
when Departure actually gets the pool. The 6 lings, or no, 8 lings now, are in production. I mean, this could just end. If he like gets enough workers, sometimes that happens.
He micros very well. We'll see how it goes. Now, he does see these lings coming, so that's a very important part there for Departure. Departure didn't get too greedy after his hatch. Sometimes you see people make a bunch of drones after their hatch. Well, not too greedy, so his pool is not that slow. Like, he should not die to this, but there's definitely the chance that Ian gets an advantage. Or he should get an advantage, but it could be a big advantage.
Yeah, that's the thing, is sometimes you can really decide things. Well, to see how well Departure micros and how well he deals with the pressure. I mean, it's definitely off-putting for him after losing that first game.
Yeah, well, here he goes. He's going into this main base, going after the spawning pool. This is an interesting choice. Of course, with 6 lings popping out, he's going to be able to pull some drones over and hopefully force him off that pool.
Okay, it's 8 lings total now here. Spawning pool at about half health. Lings haven't hatched out yet, but okay, now he's going to be able to go for some drones.
Ooh.
Gets what?
Oh, almost gets
God.
one. All right, he does get the one. And, of course, with the lings and the drones, Departure would win this battle, but at what cost? Looks like he's going after again, microing back these lings.
Ian with the micro, so far so good. More lings coming in here to meet up. And that was a lot of drones that were not mining, by the way.
That's true. That was a lot of lost mining time.
So many of these lings so fragile. The Queen coming out is a real game changer. He's going to have to... He can no longer orbit around the hatch.
That's right, and it pops out right in between the pool and the hatch. So this rush may just be over for now, but he's getting speed behind it. So we should see him attack again. You know, he hasn't made a hatchery at his natural, so he still has to get something done.
The worker count right now, Ian is in the lead by 2 drones, but that's changing as more drones pop out here for Departure.
Departure just has more production at the moment, so that's what Ian's fighting against. He's at that disadvantage. What does he make, lings? Oh my.
Yep, 4 lings coming here. And that hatch has started at his expansion, for Ian, of course.
Also making some drones, just making enough lings that he can absolutely kill the lings his opponent has. And of course, with that speed upgrade, it won't be that hard.
Okay, now Departure's backed up. He's gotten into a very defensive posture here. With the spine crawler being made, he's just trying to stabilize so he can get to the, at least the mid game and late game. That's one of the funny things about StarCraft 2 is sometimes you could just kill somebody straight up at the start. It doesn't matter how good they are in the late game. And I'm sure that Departure's already frustrated from experiencing that in game number 1 between these two with that Spore Crawler rush. But I think the follow-up ling attack here from Ian could be really strong. I mean, if you look at this map, the ramp is pretty big.
It is.
Which makes links much more effective than they are on some maps.
For sure. That's a big part of it, is how open is that natural? How much do you have to actually cover up with buildings? And it's quite a bit here.
Okay, so Ian goes for double expand here.
Very interesting to see.
Yeah, really interesting to see the Taiwanese players do play quite differently than the Koreans.
Well, you know, this is, he has map control due to his speedlings. So this is like a bit of a risk. You know, he is behind because his rush really didn't do that much. So he's trying to make up for it with an extra hatchery at a 3rd base. Now, will he be able to drone there? Is he just going to use it for some extra production for now, kind of a placeholder for later on? It's hard to say, but a lot of it's going to, you know, decide how this game goes, because Departure will eventually figure that out.
Well, the thing that Departure needs to do is get a timing up here.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. I think Departure's chances are pretty good, actually, with that.
Okay.
If you look at where the third base is and the second, that's a lot of area to try to cover.
He's got 8 more drones, and he's completely
Yeah.
tight. He's getting his layers, so not only does he have a better economy, he's had a better economy for the vast majority of this game, he's going to have roach speed first, and that's a huge game changer. So I am thinking that he's in a better position, but with 3 hatcheries, if Ian gets his economy up good enough, he can produce more units.
You know, I almost cracked up when you were talking. I was just thinking about, he talked about how the trees on Overgrowth were cut down and turned into Justin Bieber notebooks.
Yeah.
It's just, oh, Artosis, you're so funny.
Well, I saw something about trees being cut down and turned into Justin Bieber notebooks once, and I thought it was just so funny. So it's like, what a sad fate.
Yeah, man.
Humans really are destroying the world.
Okay, so the third base is going to be acquired now for Departure. You can see, though, right now Departure's airtight in his defense. The question is, how is Departure's timing going to be up here? We also see about 10 supply, a little bit more 10 supply lead here for Departure. And that is in his army count's actually what is.
Yeah, he's got a few more
notice
drones.
A few more, but
yeah.
the army's much bigger than his opponent.
Indeed, and that's obviously a gigantic deal. He's continuing to produce a bunch of roaches, and as his roach speed finishes, how are you going to outfight someone who can hit you in more locations than you can really defend when you don't have speed?
I gotta say, the Taiwanese players do play so differently from the Koreans. You gotta think that the Koreans are actually taking on a completely different meta here.
Yeah.
And that sometimes you see great players just lose because of that. They're like, what is he even doing? I don't even understand.
Yeah. Well, you know, this game, Departure's dealing with everything a lot better than the first game. So maybe, you know, that he kind of wisened up to what's going on. But we'll see if Ian can hold on here. It looks like Departure's getting ready for this attack.
I believe this attack here should be too much from Departure. He's got 8 more roaches behind this.
I think you're right, Tasteless.
And I think the attack upgrades for both of them for the roaches is roughly synced up. So I think it's really going to boil down to just how many roaches do you have at that point in time. And the angling, as always.
Yeah, and with the speed upgrade, like he chooses where the battles are. Now, if he goes up into this natural, that is a good thing for Ian because he has the spine there, and that's where his units are. Ooh, almost gets a pick off.
He could still just go up for this third base over here. It looks like he may be doing just that.
Oh, Ian has to be careful. He can't be losing extra units here. He certainly is getting ahead and starting to deal some damage. His roach is coming up, but it looks like he just has less roaches right now.
Actually, the angle not bad here for Departure at all, actually. And I think this is pretty straightforward, Artosis. I think Departure just wins here.
He just has more units. And this is what happens when you fail with a 9-4 against someone who's gone for a hatchery first. He really didn't get any damage on. He killed like 1 drone. And that has just snowballed into this because Departure, you know, he's one of these Korean pros, and his mechanics are just out of this world.
Okay, so roaches are down here now. They're wrecking all of these other roaches for Ian. And the reinforcements are starting to come in. Drones are being pulled. I think we're going to see GG. We're going to be going to game number 3 here momentarily.
It certainly does look that way, Tasteless. And well-deserved win here. Good defense by Departure. And he's got to be breathing a sigh of relief to tie this up and bring it to that final game.
Okay. Game number 3 here. It's going to have to be the deciding match.
Yeah.
Ian had a cool strat in game number 1, caught his opponent off guard. I think game number 2, when you do a 9-pull